The honourable member from Calgary-Lougheed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When the NDP removed large union and corporate donations from provincial politics, and the Justice Minister claimed that they had put the power back in the hands of Alberta citizens rather than those with the deepest pockets, our caucus voted for that bill, and I would hope that the government will support this cause at all levels of government. Now, previously, when I asked the minister about unions funding trustee elections, there was no answer, so let's try this a different way. To the Minister of Education, will you ensure that the same laws introduced in Bill 1 in June 2015 will be applied to the upcoming trustee elections?
The honourable Minister of Education.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and certainly we know that the municipal level of government, including trustees, is a very important part of our democratic process, and we know that it is a level of governance and so forth that has a very modest campaign money that is attached to it, and so the procedure for this level of government at this time remains the same as the last election.
Wow.
First supplemental.
Wow. Now, given that the degree to which large financial donations can alter elections is amplified at the school board trustee level due to the relatively small number of voters in these elections, and given that even trustees who have received large union donations in the past have signed a petition banning union donations for trustees, as put forward by Kids Come First and the Calgary Association of Parents and School Councils, again to the minister. If trustees who took large union donations are supporting the intentions of this petition, why won't you commit to doing the exact same thing?
The honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Our government has been proud to take action on democratic reform on critical issues like taking big money out of politics and making real change within this system. In many cases, legislation that impacts our democratic system had not been updated in decades, much like workplace legislation, much like legislation throughout this government. We will continue to work with Albertans to make sure that our democratic institutions and systems are as strong as they can be. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Quiet. Second supplemental.
Given that the bill which abolished large donations for provincial parties was introduced 2 years ago, and given that the Minister of Municipal Affairs spokesperson has stated it was too close to election time to implement the requested donation limit changes for trustee elections, and given that the NDP should have acted much sooner if they truly did not agree with large donations in elections because they impair democracy and concentrate power in the hands of those with money to spare. To the Minister of Municipal Affairs, why did you or your predecessor not address these concerns in the past 2 years, and will you act now before it's too late?
The honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. We believe that Albertans should decide elections, and that is why we introduced the Fair Elections Financing Act. That is why we are taking real action. The previous party benefited from a pay-to-play system for 44 years without lifting a finger to make important democratic changes to give the power back to everyday Albertans. PC entitlement was in play for decades. We are taking action to make changes to our democratic system and to return power through legislation like the Public Interest Disclosure Act amendments introduced today.